Hello everyone. It is I, your host, Polypetrol, and once again we are back with a little show match from the OMLN4 Tournament 4. And today we have a little bit of a special guest who will be challenging our fellow, half imposter main character of the tournament. It is going to be Kiruru. You may know him as Mikuenbot from the previous Long Note Tournament 3, who was a semi-finals contender, and they will be facing off against Leon, who is one of our, if I'm not wrong, quarterfinalists of this Osmia Long Note Tournament. And this is a match that I think was initiated by Leon. I think what he really wanted to do is just kind of just settle everything once and for all, and it seems like our map pool is defunct. We just need a little bit of time for the map pool to be refreshed for the round of 16, and we'll be back in a little bit, but in the meantime I think I can just continue to just really share about this all these show matches overall. We had a lot of show matches going on. I think this is one of the more specialized show matches in a way, that is not really about having just playing on the grand finals pool in general. I think the players themselves would much rather have a map pool that really fits on their level, and I think this is one of those rounds where Leon and Kiruru basically agreed to kind of match up against on. And notwithstanding the backgrounds of the stream itself, we have a role of Kiruru winning the role, deciding whether to pick a band first, and they decide to pick first. So now we just have to start looking into the protects and the bands from both sides. The protect. And it's a little bit of a long day for us. We're just kind of messing up a little bit in terms of remembering what is supposed to be said. And Kiruru goes for CO3, which is a protect that's kind of in their lane. Surprisingly, one of the throwbacks of previous tournament series as well with Palette. We have another one that is Warrenai by Felix Spade, and we have a protect from Leon, which is D3, Knight of the Reborn Perennial, and Wildcard 2 for Raindrop being banned. I think fairly enough. I believe that Density 3 has been played time and time again throughout the round of 16, and I think it was a pick that was relatively easy compared to the rest of the pool. I think I can see the accuracy game that Leon is trying to go for. We have a D1 band from Kiruru, which will be Full Metal Deep Shit as well, and I think this pool is we're ready to go. And yeah, both accuracy-oriented players really just agreeing on what they like overall. I think whatever they did was just kind of up to line with they're probably in sync with one another. This will be a little bit of an interesting matchup, I think, because both players really look up to each other as accuracy players, and accuracy players in particular, and both players are just kind of friendly with each other. We love to see those friendly matches just happen, and we'll see what really goes down with Kiruru's side reading the pool, and Leon also just coming back from a personal event, so there's gonna be a little bit of a fatigue complex going on in this match, but well, we'll just have to see. It's kind of the same thing as like when you're in Uma Musume and you are like tired, you don't have enough stamina, so we will just have to see what goes on in that one. And our first pick is gonna be 24 Evil. Wildcard one. I honestly cannot tell you how Kiro is picking these things anymore because, to be honest, he's like reading the pool. I really cannot tell you what kind of accuracy he's gonna be going for. And neither have we seen him in action for a very long time. So this is just gonna be something that we will have to really see how they're gonna be playing. My belief is that they have been, well, at least practicing in the background, maybe learning, keeping their accuracies up for a day like this, where they actually get to play up against each other. But I don't know. We will just have to know when the match gets underway here. And we do get into the map. Both players hovering around each other. At 100 accuracy from Leon right now. Very nice. And for those who don't kind of remember how this map actually goes, it's basically a wildcardy kind of map where speed ups determine the change in patterning. So we have a lot of very simple density / chords, and we slowly will ramp up the BPM of the song. So it goes right into more intense speed sections and more tech-based, shields-based sections. So that's just gonna be how the map kind of goes. And if we were to look at the score difference right now, both players are actually very around each other. 99.9 from Q, very outstanding accuracy, at least from a player that we all know has been very notorious for his accuracy, very, very high LN accuracy. You can almost suspect that he's just playing on V1 at this point. I think they are playing on V2 because that's just how good both players are. Leon keeping up with Kiru at the accuracy of 99.74, dropping a little bit. But we'll just have to see what happens with a little bit more of a time elapse on this. So we go into a little bit of a denser section right here. Well, at least from current observation, we have a little bit of a slightly easier section. I wouldn't say easier in terms of releases, but it's definitely more chill. And then we go back into the speed up section, this part being the particularly very intense shield based section that will basically build up to a potential combo break from either of the players or kind of accuracy drop. But it seems like both players hold on very, very nice, and we come to the end. And it just kind of beep boop and just ends off the map itself. And not forgetting the last note. Nice. Kiro with a almost more than 1-10 ratio on this. 2 grades. It's just an outstanding score to really just see after like don't know how many years. I mean, the last time they played in the long note tournament was like 3 years ago. We couldn't possibly really see how much better Hero has gotten over the years. It's just crazy. I think some of these players in this tournament are also 2-timers from the previous edition. So there were a couple of people who returned alongside the newcomers. So among them being Nepijin. Nepijin was really a top 4 player from the last edition who, well, unfortunately lost to a keyboard ghosting incident, which cost him a tiebreaker point. So for Miku Aimbot, I believe he was a semi-finalist, and in fact he was in the winner's bracket all the way up until the point where Els dropped, where Lively Peninsula dropped them into the finals losers brackets, in which they got a little bit flawed by the map pool difficulty. There's just kind of a bit of a ways to go when you're an accuracy player and then you are forced to put on a physical show. Anyway, we have a pick from Leon, which is going to be CO1 Exact Chronicle Key by Danny PX. This map is, well, I mean, it is what it is. It is a CO1 release based map. Yeah, I mean, it's just really what it is. 100 BPM releases that you just cannot, like, really cheese. And to be honest, I mean, knowing both players' performance profiles, I really think that this map overall is just it's just a very top tier match going. It's just gonna be a very top tier match. And actually, speaking of top tier match, Leon kind of a little bit unstable today, getting a little bit of 99.6 right out of the intro, getting a 200, which is not very good for his situation, but we still got a lot of the map to go. So we let the map elapse for a while more. Kiro amasses a difference of 2,000 points on average. Doing really nice, I think, with a V1WS so far. Just keep in mind that they're kind of side reading the pool. I think this is a very impressive score from them, I have to say, so far. And for those who are a little bit more acquainted with the Stepmania packs, this is basically the original song of Ravitail's Curse. So for those who are not so acquainted with it, this is just what it is. It's nostalgic. This is just nostalgia. It's just hard not to just start messing up just by listening to the song and how nice it sounds. Just a heavenly pick overall. So Q still at a 2k score difference, and the accuracy is just kind of growing a little bit with how Leon is a little bit unstable in terms of his 200 releases, and there's another one. Just as I said it, there's just so much going on in this map. As you slowly start to grow towards the second half of the map, after the chorus, you get shorter long notes and a heavier layering. This is where some players might start to kind of find coordination on this map a little bit difficult. But I think both players take it in stride. Sometimes having more positive space is better than having more negative space. I will have to say that. I think at least for these two players, it might be just getting into the groove of the song that matters, and Kiro being very, very consistent still at maintaining his score gap against Leon. The score difference going up to 6,000 points right now, which is very, very, very impressive. And I think, from what I remember, this map in general has always been played when there is a very huge discrepancy between both players in terms of release accuracy. So seeing two top players kind of duke it out on this one is actually kind of a little bit of a feast. I would just say that much. But it does seem like Hero is a little bit more superior in terms of his performance today. I would tend to believe so. And as we close out with a couple more sustained releases, the score difference increases to 8k, which is simply, well, not the furthest of margins, not the closest of margins, but something that is just very convincing to me. A 1-200 on Kuru, almost a V1WS with Leon's slightly lower accuracy, but still a very impressive one. I think in context of this tournament, this is still one of the higher performing scores overall. And interestingly enough, yeah, Kuru, I guess they've been doing some work in the background. I think this is really this is really a great performance from him. I think it's very surprising. And now someone asked him to pick CO3, which is a very interesting thought. We will have to think of who requested him to pick CO3. If I had to take a guess, probably our host. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Because what else other than Wood 2 that you would like, right? Or maybe so. Give you a little bit of a break, maybe just for Leon to kind of settle in a little bit. Yeah, as in chat we have our other host, How to Play Earn, admitting that he wanted the Wood 2. It's just very interesting dynamics going on in the background. I think spying on each other, watching each other play. Of course, granted, this CO3 is a little bit different from most the tiebreaker that we had in Long Note Tournament 3, which is Pellet. This one's a little bit more well, it retains the dump orientation of the map, which is why it's kind of a bit of a wildcardy coordination, but we still have a lot of very important non-trivial releases with a couple of jacks in it, which kind of give it this coordination element overall, just to recap. And you see Kiru in their element right now, dealing with a bunch of shields like it's water. But actually both players doing really well overall. There's just a lot to be seen from the rest of the map. Even though it's slightly shorter, at maybe about 2 to 3 minutes, it's not really that long. And any misses can amplify, and just as I say it, Kuro actually misses, which is a very surprising turn of events. But I guess it's just how more physical this pick is overall. But as you can see, Leon also breaks, which is... What? What's going on, man? Both players just kind of not really feeling the combo game today, I would tend to say. And the lead goes back into Kuro with a accuracy difference of 99.82 versus 99.58, and Leon missing once more on the pool. I really do not think that this is his true performance, at least in terms of how well he can combo. Him missing one more time is probably gonna put the nail in the coffin, at least in terms of the score difference itself. For round of 16, this is a huge difference to make up for. It's gonna require a little bit more misses from Kuro, and suddenly a ways to go for Leon to really make up for it. But regardless of that, I think both players really just trying to keep up their accuracies. And, well, perhaps really doing a better job than I would have ever done in the rest of my career. I think one thing to note is that you may see these kind of accuracies from these players. Oh, there's a miss from Kuro, and it's just a lot of it just kind of goes to show how it's just difficult to be consistent around these pools, even if you are considered a top player from the previous edition. It's just there's just a lot to make up for. There's the difficulty of the pools have just ramped up, even for the round of 16. It's just a lot more intense, and you're just gonna be a little bit more careful. Obviously, Kuro with a cleaner run, with more misses, with less misses and less grades. So there's just a lot of performance to be had for now. And Kuro asking Leon to pick for him. Well, we just see how he we'll just see how he picks, I guess. Seeing a little bit of a side read kind of situation, I guess. I mean, the referee could roll for you if you really want, but I guess he doesn't really want to pick integral cube, so that is why Leon is picking for him instead. And we shall get to see D3, which will be our original song from the round of 16, Night of the Reborn Perennial, so we get to listen to this song one last time. This song, now listening back on it, it just kind of feels very... It feels very, I don't know, nostalgic. I don't know why I'm feeling nostalgia from a pick that just happened like maybe 4 weeks ago. But I already feel the nostalgia in it. I don't know, it just kind of feels like a good time. Yeah, and I think among all of this, we shall have to see what happens with this pick in general, because this pick is slightly easier than the rest of the pool. I think maybe both players will tend to miss less. Even though it is noticeably is one of the highest star ratings of the pool itself. I think the highest actually, higher than everything but the tiebreaker. And tiebreaker 7 stars. So we go into the map because there's a little oopsie doopsie for the client once again. And now we start off with the stream section. Some good old 190 long note streams. I think this is one of the picks where Leon would most likely be able to get a point off Kiru if they are careful enough to keep their ratios high enough. But honestly, anything goes in this match. It is very close knitted, and both of these players coming from the same kind of accuracy skill set. It really just bodes for them to be just very close all around, and as you can see, the score difference is within 1,000 points. You could basically, well, I mean, if you want to laser client, it would just be a small difference that it just doesn't make sense to evaluate. As you can see, Kuro only 99.90 accuracy right now. What is going on, dude? I mean, we have historically been seeing very good accuracies for this pool overall, but it's just very impressive score from Kuro as we get into the second key modulation of this song. We do get into a slightly denser stream, but I think it's not going to phase both players, as they are both very good at this BPM or accuracy, as long as you don't miss. And it seems like both players do hit the last of the streams. Hopefully not going to get caught off guard by this ending roll when the client is done. And was it with Kiro might have a little bit of a client problem. A little bit of a network oopsie. It is kind of both to see what score they actually did score on this map overall. We cannot tell until we are in the lobby once again. And oh, I think we'll just have to look at the stuff. We just have to look at the spreadsheet to kind of see the scores overall. And we do have. We just have to see on my end. As well, the fourth pick gets selected. And in fact, it does seem like that, Epsilon, we do have a little bit of message from our referee. So apparently the score did get through, and Kiro actually obtained a 996k on this, which is absolutely phenomenal. I think this is one of the scores that will be like really up on the leaderboard for sure for that particular original. And as you can see, then we get into a match point from Kiro. Now it is really down to the last vestiges of his match itself that is initiated by Leon, but probably not going southward as much as they wanted it to. Overall, I still gotta say that the score differences are very, very, very close. I think it would have been very close if not for the fact that it keeps the difference kind of keeps siding over to Kuru. But we shall see if the reverse sweep will get achieved. Maybe Leon will start to wake up. You never know. And who knows if I'm writing the script behind the scenes, because it seems like Kiro actually does drop a little bit in terms of accuracy over on this wildcard 3 pick. And right out of the intro, Leon has a accuracy advantage of about 0.04. But obviously with an opponent like Kiro, you really cannot afford to even let up a little bit, because his accuracy is just gonna catch right up to you and be there again. And as you can see, both players' accuracies are equal again, and it seems like the accuracy difference is actually going towards Kiro this time because of a slight little 200 drop from Leon. It is not a difference that is that sizable by any means. It is very easy to take over. Both players just dancing around each other at a 0.02% accuracy difference, with Kiro putting on Mirror for some reason. I don't know what. I don't know if they're side reading. I don't think this should be a big deal, but you know, as we get into these little cute little remix drop, and Leon is the first one to miss. This can't be a very good sign for him, but we'll never know if Kiro ever drops anything in this pick itself. But if he's gonna drop, it has to be now. There is not enough time for... Would there be enough time for Kiro to, well, let up a point for Leon? In this situation, the accuracy goes down. Actually, it goes and tilts in favor of Leon, but unfortunately, Kiro is the one with the full combo. And Kiro is the one who is going to win this point. And last but not least, this match. I'm gonna say this is a well-fought match from both players. I think it is mostly a performance issue from Leon that is really letting him up, burning him on this matchup that is otherwise supposed to be a very close match. Even then, all things considered, the score difference is very close, and I think personally this match was pretty well fought. And once again, congratulations to Kiro for really putting up a fight and winning the match on side read. And it's just really closing out a slightly more relaxing, slow show match. Not slow match, but show match. Relative to whatever we've been seeing so far on the Grand Finals map pool. And once again, thank you, Q, for joining us on this show match today. It is so nice to just see like old players just come back and kind of like chill out and play like a show match or two. But with all of that considered, we will be back in about, if I'm not wrong, 3 hours with another match. We shall just look into the details itself. We will have a matchup in 2 hours, a show match between Matcha Latte and Naito Murray, and following that we have a lot more to go, and I think it is probably time to close out a little bit on this show match, just kind of give everyone a little break, and we'll be back with more fun on this Grand Finals map pool. All things considered, I will be signing out, and it has been Polytetral. I hope you all had a little bit of a relaxing experience with this commentary, and we shall see you in the next episode. Yeah!